welcome to the broadcast, and welcome to Megan Jones. Hello.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you here. I've been looking forward to this.
I'm so excited.
We briefly got to meet you during the Ice Bucket Challenge. And
when we're all standing there freezing like
freezing
little
and
rats.
soaking wet. And oh, you wore white pants that day.
Yeah,
that's
genius
right.
move.
So that's not very fashionista of you.
Definitely not.
On a wet day. But we were glad to meet you and have you in that day.
Thank you.
And so now we get to know you more today.
Megan is, of course, part of Tony Zaza's morning show on KVIL. So, yeah, I'm glad you're here, and we're going to get to know you more throughout the morning. Of course, everyone talking about Joan Rivers this morning.
Yeah.
It was so sad. And, you know, when I was with Courtney over the weekend, when Joan was in ICU, and we kept saying, gosh, you know, we were checking social media to see if she had passed because it just sounded so awful. And then for a moment, it sounded like she was maybe getting better. But then, of course, yesterday, her daughter, Melissa, sent out the so sad news that she had passed away from complications of a throat surgery. And actually, we have Courtney on the phone with us. Courtney's at Fashion Week in New York. And Court, we were talking yesterday about just how odd it was that she passed away on the first day of Fashion Week, and sort of apropos for her because she was so big in the fashion world.
You know, you took the words right out of my mouth. Yesterday is such an exciting day for the fashion industry. It's a day that people look forward to every year. And, you know, the day had kicked off without a hitch, and then right after lunchtime, early afternoon, the news started to spread that Joan had passed, and the temperature and the kind of energy definitely came down several notches. You know, she's definitely a legend in the fashion industry, you know, having done Fashion Police. She's a pioneer for so many women. And on top of all that, E! News is here doing Fashion Police this week. They do it live from Fashion Week every year. And they had actually selected Kimora Lee Simmons to fill in for Joan this week. They had just finished filming their first episode when the news hit. And I was actually sitting in the Empire Hotel as the E! Team, because Empire Hotel is kind of their home base where I'm staying. They rushed in Alicia Quarles, I guess, to get her to Mount Sinai to do a live report so that it could go on E! News later that night. So definitely just a lot of people here really, really touched and really not only touched but upset by the passing of her, being kind of, you know, she's kind of our Fashion Week angel now, I guess, a little bit.
You know, and I was listening yesterday to E! News and their coverage, and I think a lot of people don't realize, Court, that Joan sort of like pioneered this red carpet, you know, extravaganza that happens in front of every award show.
You're so right. Yeah, she was the first person. They were talking about yesterday. She was the first person to ever look at celebrities and go, "Who are you wearing?
Who are you wearing?"
And
right.
People thought that was funny that she would ask that question. And she's actually been on E! for 23 years doing the red carpet fashion coverage. She was kind of the first person to do fashion coverage on the red carpet, and it not just be about, you know, the movies or the actors or their projects, but about the clothing. And if you watched E! News yesterday, you saw a really touching comment that Juliana Rancic made about Joan, talking about that she's her mentor. You know, she kind of grandfathered Juliana into this network, and Juliana's been working under Joan now for 13 years at E! So I'm sure that the temperature at E! News is just a really, really sad place today. I know a lot of them watching E! News last night, parents couldn't even make it through the newscast without crying. So really tough when they say, you know, we see her walk through the dressing rooms and walk down the halls, and if we would have known that last Tuesday would have been the last time we saw her, you know, we would have hugged her a little tighter.
Oh, Court. Well, have fun at Fashion Week if you possibly can, and I know you're going to see a lot of great shows. And we have your CBS radio sister Megan Jones here with us this morning too.
Oh, hi, Megan.
Hello, pretty lady.
Well, you guys, thanks for letting me call in. It's always a treat being here at Fashion Week. But definitely this year, just a little bit of a different energy here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Court. Thanks for calling in.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. It is interesting that, you know, everything for her was about the red carpet. Mm-hmm. We found an interesting quote from her this morning. She pretty much planned her funeral. And she said, "To me, a funeral is just a red carpet show for dead people." She said, "When I die, and yes, Melissa, the day will come, and yes, Melissa, everything is in your name. I want my funeral to be a huge showbiz affair with lights, cameras, action. I want craft services. I want paparazzi. I want publicists making a scene. I want to be Hollywood all the way. I don't want some rabbi rambling on. I want Meryl Streep in 5 different accents. I don't want a eulogy. I want Bobby Vinton to pick my head up and sing Mr. Lonely. I want to look gorgeous, better dead than I do alive. I want to be buried in the Valentino gown. I want Harry Winstonto to make me a toe tag.
Harry Winston, how cute.
And I want a wind machine so that even in my casket, my hair is blowing like Beyonce's. Just thought,
that's in total
classic.
Joan Rivers fashion.
Isn't it though?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Classic her.
When I was watching the coverage yesterday, and I think I'd spoken earlier in the week about the documentary that they made about her, I think in 2010, and it was so interesting to know the backstory of how she got where she was and how hard this woman worked. And there's a part in the documentary where she's showing her calendar, and there's nothing on it. Of course, she went several, weeks
Years.
in advance, yeah, probably years. And she turned it to the camera. She said, "This is my biggest nightmare. If this is empty, then it means that everything that I've worked for
I
is,
can see that.
is so." But we're going to be talking about Joan all throughout today's show.
Yep.
Michael Urie, who was here yesterday, is going to be coming back at the top of our second hour because he knew her personally. So he's going to chit chat about that a little bit.